Hack. She was left at the altar, until a lonely rancher said, "I'll marry her." The church bells of Silver Creek rang 12 times beneath the bright Texas sun. Inside the small white church, every seat was occupied. Ranchers sat beside farmers. Mothers whispered behind lace fans. Children fidgeted in the wooden pews. At the front stood Clara Whitmore, 26 years old, dressed in a simple ivory wedding gown. Her hands trembled around a bouquet of white roses. She kept looking toward the church doors, waiting for the man who was supposed to walk through them, her groom, Daniel Hayes. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 20. The preacher glanced nervously at the sheriff. Clara forced a smile. "He'll come." The sheriff lowered his eyes. "Clara?" She knew from his voice that something was wrong. What happened? Sheriff Miller slowly removed his hat. "Daniel left town this morning."
I reckon this belongs to you,
became
Clara.
silent. Clara stared at him. "No, he caught the early train. No, he left this letter." The sheriff handed her a folded piece of paper. Clara opened it with trembling fingers. Only one sentence. "I can't marry you. I'm sorry." Her heart seemed to stop. She read it again and again. Then she looked toward the empty doorway. "He wouldn't." Her voice broke. "He promised me." Nobody answered. A woman whispered behind her. "Poor girl." Another voice followed. "I always thought Daniel was too good for her." Someone laughed. It was quiet. But Clara heard it. Her face burned. She wanted to run. She wanted the floor beneath her feet to open and swallow her. Then, a chair scraped against the wooden floor. Everyone turned. A tall man stood in the last pew. He wore a black cowboy hat, a faded brown coat, and dusty boots. His face was strong and weathered. His eyes were calm. Everyone in Silver Creek knew him. Elias Carter, the lonely rancher from the Northern Valley. A man who lived alone. A man who rarely spoke. A man who had buried the only woman he had ever loved years ago. Elias walked slowly down the aisle. He stopped beside Clara. She looked at him through tears. "Mr. Carter?" He looked at the empty space beside her.
This wedding cannot
Then he
proceed.
turned toward the preacher. "I'll marry her."
She does not belong
The
to
church
him.
exploded with whispers. Clara stared at him. "What?"
I reckon you all
Elias
know
looked
that
at her.
now.
"You heard me. You don't even know me. I know enough." "How?" He looked around at the people watching her. "Because I know what it feels like when everyone walks away." Clara's eyes filled with tears. The preacher stepped forward. "Elias, marriage isn't something you offer because you feel sorry for someone. I don't feel sorry for her." His eyes remained on Clara. "I respect her." Clara couldn't speak. Elias continued quietly. "If she says no, I'll leave." He took one step back. No questions, no embarrassment. Clara looked at the letter in her hand, then at Elias. For months she had dreamed of marrying Daniel, but Daniel had left her standing alone. Elias had been the only person willing to stand beside her. She whispered, "Yes." The preacher looked shocked. "Clara, are you certain?" She nodded, "Yes." And that afternoon, in front of the same people who had watched her heart break, Clara Whitmore married Elias Carter. There was no music, no celebration, no wedding dance, just two strangers standing beside each other. And neither knew that this strange marriage would become the greatest love story Silver Creek had ever known. 3 months earlier, Clara had first met Elias during a storm. Her father's wagon had broken down outside town. Rain poured across the dirt road. Clara stood beside the wagon, trying desperately to keep the horses calm. Then she heard hoofbeats. Elias rode through the rain. He stopped. "Need help?" Clara looked at him suspiciously. "I can handle it." Elias looked at the broken wheel, then at her soaked dress. "I can see that," Clara frowned. "Are you always this rude?" "Only when someone's standing in the rain pretending they're not cold." She almost smiled. He fixed the wagon,
This
then
mud
rode
isn't
away
making
without
it
asking
easy.
for anything.
We need to get
Clara
moving
watched
before
him
dark.
disappear. She didn't know his name. She didn't know where he lived. She only remembered his eyes. Now, months later, she was his wife. But their marriage was nothing like Clara had imagined. Elias gave her the bedroom. He slept in the small room near the barn. He never demanded affection, never pressured her, never asked her to pretend she loved him. Every morning he left coffee outside her door. Every evening he checked whether she needed anything. One morning Clara finally asked, "Why are you doing all this?" Elias looked at her. "Doing what?" "Being kind to me." He shrugged. "Because you're my wife." Clara smiled sadly. "You don't even know me." "Then I'll take my time." She looked at him. "What if I never love you?" Elias was silent for a moment. "Then I'll still treat you well." Those words stayed with her. Weeks passed. Clara began discovering the man behind Elias's silence. He loved horses. He talked to his cattle as if they were family. He repaired everything himself. And despite owning hundreds of acres, he lived simply. But there was one thing Clara noticed. There were no photographs of women in the house. Except one. A faded photograph sat inside Elias's desk. One evening, Clara accidentally saw it. A young woman with bright eyes. Who is she?
It's just not fair that she is gone.
My wife.
How are we supposed to move on from here?
I didn't know. She died 7 years ago. I'm sorry. Elias closed the drawer. I never married again. Clara looked at him. Until me. He nodded. Until you. Their relationship slowly changed. They began eating dinner together, talking, laughing, riding horses across the valley. One evening, Clara fell from her horse. Elias immediately rode toward her. Clara, she sat in the grass, embarrassed. I'm fine. He helped her stand. You scared me. She looked into his eyes. Why?
Clara!
Elias didn't answer.
Are you hurt?
Because the truth frightened
Tell me.
him.
I'm fine,
He
Elias.
was beginning to love her.
Truly.
And
Just
he
a
knew
bit
she was still
shaken.
carrying the
Thank
wound
God.
left by another man.
You gave me quite a scare.
Then Daniel returned. He arrived in Silver Creek wearing an expensive black coat. Clara saw him outside the general store. Her heart stopped. Daniel? He smiled. Hello, Clara. She couldn't speak. You left me. I know.
Clara,
you left me
please,
on our
I did
wedding
it for
day.
us.
I had
I
no
cannot
choice.
follow you down this
You
dark
always have
path.
a choice.
I only want to
Daniel
build a
looked toward
future
Elias's
here.
ranch. So you
Not at
married
the
him?
cost of your
Clara
soul,
said
Daniel.
nothing. Daniel stepped closer. I made a mistake. Clara shook her head. No, I still love you. You don't get to say that. I came back for you. You came back too late. Daniel's face hardened. You don't know the truth. What truth? He leaned closer. Your father didn't die naturally. Clara froze. What? Daniel lowered his voice. He was murdered. Her face went pale. Who killed him? Daniel looked toward the road. Ask your husband. Then he walked away. That night, Clara confronted Elias. Did you know my father?
Just
Elias
tell me
stopped.
the truth
Yes.
about that night,
Did you know how he
Elias.
died? Silence.
I deserve to know what happened
Elias?
to my father.
He sat down. Your father was my friend.
He was trying to protect
Clara's
us
eyes
both,
filled
Clara.
with tears. Why didn't you tell me? Because I promised him I'd protect you. From what? Elias opened an old wooden box. Inside were documents, letters, bank
These records
and
prove
a photograph.
what really
Clara
happened
picked it
back
up.
then.
The photograph showed her father standing beside a wealthy businessman named
Your father
Victor
was
Blackwell.
innocent.
Elias spoke quietly. Victor was stealing land from poor ranchers. Clara looked at the documents. Those are my father's records. Yes. He discovered what Victor was doing, and Victor threatened him. Clara's hands trembled. What happened? Elias looked at her. Your father was going to expose him, but he never got the chance. No. Clara whispered. Who killed him? Elias didn't answer. Clara looked at him. You think Victor did it? I know he did. The next morning, Victor Blackwell arrived at the Carter Ranch. 2 armed men accompanied him. Victor stepped down from his horse.
This
Elias,
land is not for sale,
Elias
Blackwell.
stood on the porch. Victor,
Every
you have
man
something
has
that
his
belongs
price,
to me.
Mr. Carter.
No, Victor smiled. You have no idea how dangerous this can become. Clara stepped beside Elias. Victor looked at her. Ah, he smiled. The abandoned bride. Clara didn't move. Elias stepped forward. Don't speak to my wife like that. Victor laughed. Your wife? Elias's jaw tightened. Yes. Victor looked between them. I wonder how long that marriage will last. Clara reached into her pocket. She pulled out her father's documents. Victor's smile disappeared. You recognize these? For the first time, he looked afraid. Elias smiled. The sheriff has copies. Victor turned toward the road, and there stood Sheriff Miller, along with several townsmen.
This land belongs
Victor
to
had
me
nowhere
now,
to
Carter.
run.
Not as long as I am
The truth
standing.
came out.
Not
His
as long
thefts,
as I
his
am
threats,
standing.
The murder, everything. Victor Blackwell was arrested. That evening, Clara stood alone on the porch. Elias walked toward her. Are you all right? She nodded. Yes.
This deed shows
Then
that
she
the
looked
land
at him.
belongs to them.
You saved me.
It is
Elias
over,
shook his head.
Victor. I
No,
only did what was
you did.
required.
No. He looked into her
Right
eyes.
on out of Silver
You saved
Creek.
yourself. Clara smiled. You stood beside me. I promised I would. She stepped closer. Even if I never loved you, yes. Even if Daniel had come back, yes. Why? Elias took a slow breath. Because love isn't about owning someone. He looked at her. It's about giving them a place where they feel safe. Clara's eyes filled with tears. And what if I want to stay? Elias smiled. Then I'll build you the safest home in Texas. She laughed softly. Then she reached for his hand. I don't want a safe home. Elias looked surprised. What do you want? She whispered. You. For the first time in 7 years, Elias allowed himself to cry. Clara stepped into his arms. And beneath the Texas stars, the lonely rancher finally found the woman who made his empty home feel alive again. 1 year later, the church bells of Silver Creek rang again, but this time, Clara wasn't standing alone. She walked down the aisle
I would choose
beside
you again,
Elias.
Clara.
They had decided to renew
And I would
their
choose you.
vows. The entire town watched. The preacher smiled. Elias, do you take Clara as your wife? Elias looked at her. I already did. Everyone laughed. Then he added, but I'd choose her again. The preacher turned to Clara, and you? Clara smiled through tears. I choose him. Elias took her hand. The woman who had once been abandoned at the altar had finally found the man who never abandoned her. And the lonely rancher who believed his heart had died 7 years earlier discovered that sometimes love doesn't come when you expect it. Sometimes it arrives after heartbreak. Sometimes it stands beside you when the whole world is watching you fall. And sometimes the person who saves your life doesn't do it with a gun or a horse. Sometimes he simply reaches for your hand and says, I'll marry her. If this story touched your heart like this video, subscribe to US Wild West Love Story and turn on the notification bell for more emotional cowboy romances, unforgettable Western love stories, and cinematic tales from the American frontier. Until the next story, keep your heart wild and your dreams westward.